Mercosur. Yeah, bro, they're super pissed off. But it's still definitely a very polite protest, other than the feces, obviously, being dumped consistently in front of the government houses. Oh. I mean, bro, like in this context here, like burning specifically the European Union flag is not like the smartest thing, because like in fact you need to utilize like a lot of what they have to basically sustain yourself. Understand this here. I get it. This country is wealthy, but it's not as wealthy as the rest of the union. Let's just say this year, you do in fact need a union in that region. So burning the flag is kind of counterproductive here. Like, bro, I feel for them, but wrecking your own stuff is really wild.
On en a plus que marre de cette politique européenne complètement déconnectée du terrain. On a besoin de moyens, on a besoin de prix et pas de décisions à l'envers de tout ça. C'est-à-dire on nous taxe les engrais, on nous fait importer des produits de l'agriculture moins disantes. Nous, ça on n'en peut plus. La France était exportatrice, un grand exportateur agricole. Maintenant, on va devenir importateur. Voilà, on a l'impression vraiment de détruire l'agriculture française et européenne.
Okay. Listen, when it comes down to this scenario, it's inevitable here. I mean, there are obviously a lot of groups of people that are out there saying that the reason why they're doing this is because they're trying to keep up with China. That could be one thing, sure, but not really. The decision that was basically made by the EU to do this, well, to be honest, I think the EU, mainly Italy, right, has recently decided that they were going to kind of halt this because of what's actually going on here. And actually, you know, what's happening right now is like all of these farmers in the EU are like, hey guys, listen, we produce great quality products and we've been doing this for 100 years, 200 years, etc. And we want to be able to maintain our family heritage of farming and taking care of like all the locales, let's say here. But the problem is that with the influx of a gigantic amount of people coming into your countries, your individual nation states, you're going to have to find a way to better feed people, kind of large scale, without the cost specifically of all your organic produce. It is what it is here, guys. I mean, this is something that was going to inevitably happen, specifically living in like a globalized type of environment. Um, is it good for the people? No, it's not good for the people. Understand this here. Um, they're now going to get subpar quality food pushed into Europe, while Europe is basically known for having great quality food. That's gone. You understand this here? Like, that's what they're basically angry about right now. That and the fact that obviously they're about to all lose their job. Stop grain from the Ukraine. It's still a moderately peaceful-esque scenario compared to what things would be here. too much water. It's expensive over there.
On dénonce en fait tout à fait cette Union européenne qui, on le rappelle, n'est pas démocratique dans le sens où c'est la Commission européenne qui initie en fait les décisions, donc c'est elle qui choisit quelle décision sera prise en compte. Ensuite, on a un parlement qui est élu en effet par différents peuples européens, mais qui va refléter déjà des visions très différentes selon les différents peuples qui existent en Europe. Et surtout qui n'ont pas cette initiative, qui sont là simplement pour discuter les lois, les voter, mais elles ne vont pas les décider. Donc déjà...
Yeah, it's unfair.
President von der Leyen, the College of Commissioners, the Council of Prime Ministers, the Parliament.
Les accords du Mercosur, c'est une trahison pour nous, les agriculteurs. On nous impose des normes et des réglementations qui ne sont pas appliquées ailleurs. Et à côté de ça, on va importer des produits finis qui ne répondent pas à nos standards de production. Les volumes sont peut-être pas élevés, mais c'est une véritable trahison. Et derrière, à côté de ça, on va taxer nos moyens de production alors qu'on a besoin de compétitivité pour rester en vie. Et à côté de ça, on va nous mettre des taxes sur les engrais, les matières azotées qui sont importées. Ça va dans tous les sens. Il nous faut une ligne de conduite claire.
Listen, bros, hold on. We have two videos on the same topic, so we're just going to jump to the next one here also. But listen, I feel for them. I do. Like, you guys have been doing this for a really long... Guys, you know how much those tractors cost? I get it. Like, I hear you, bro. I get it. But, like, dude, either you're going to have to produce more for more people, so there are less people that are hungry, right? That's going to have to be it here, guys. You're going to have to do that. And then you're going to have to sell every single thing that you're doing for a lot less money, which is not really conducive at all under any circumstance to like anything or anyone, guys, right? It's not super conducive. So where do we go from here? Right. And I think that's the overall problem, right? Like that's the issue here. Like, how do we lower the cost, produce more, right? For the sole purpose of being able to deliver more food to more people faster, because that's the only way you're going to stop this here, is do the impossible, legitimately. Do the literal impossible. Produce more faster for less money if you want to beat them, right? So the same thing that's going on that happened to us specifically, like in the 80s and 90s, et cetera, with China, is about to happen with South America, the Ukraine, right? And the European Union, right? That's what's just going to happen here. They're going to undercut everything because they can, right? And that's what the people are basically fighting for. That's what they're doing here. They're fighting for it. I get it. I get it. Let's jump to the second part of this video.
Many of them French, are filling the streets of Brussels to voice their opposition to the signing of an historic EU-Mercosur agreement. Now, if inked, the deal would create the world's largest free trade area, 450 million consumers in Europe and 270 million in South America. Details are being discussed at a European summit in Brussels today, and the EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen is supposed to fly to Brazil this weekend to sign the deal, but those in the streets in Brussels are firmly opposed. They fear being undercut by cheaper products from South America.
That's exactly
and today, suggesting a potential delay to that signing, President Emmanuel Macron has made it clear that he stands with the protesters.
He has to.
I want to say here to our farmers who are protesting that France's position has been clear from the start. On Mercosur, we believe the terms aren't acceptable and this agreement cannot be signed. Okay. And it's the same across the board. It's Europe being consistent, and it's a Europe that protects its agriculture and its producers.
Well, our Europe editor, Armin Georgian, is outside the summit for us today, where protesters are clashing with police. Armin, good to speak to you. Can you give us a sense of the atmosphere where you are and what it is you've witnessed today?
You have to work magic here, guys. You're going to have to.
Yeah, it's still pretty tense, Nadi. You can probably hear the helicopters above. There's still a massive protest going on in Place Luxembourg, which is about 100 meters off to my right. with some firecrackers coming off into the side streets, including where I'm standing. There was another one there. You can see heavy police presence behind me, banners and tractors, banners saying no farmers, no food, and stop the madness. And also this, a handsome Dutch potato that is being thrown at police here as well. And it's a very multinational protest here as well. We've seen farmers from all kinds of countries, Spain, Italy, Denmark. There were people just walking past with a Danish flag. So they're really keen to show that this is a pan-European protest.
It is.
It's not only about Mercosur, by the way, but also the proposed cuts in the Common Agricultural Policy budget that could be enacted under the next EU's long-term budget, a cut of 20% and maybe even more than that when you factor in inflation, which they say here is going to have a very destructive impact on farming across the EU.
Okay, so quite a...
No, you're right. You're right. I think we're good here. I think we understand kind of what's happening here. Yeah, this is absolutely a pan-European protest. Everyone is angry. And I understand why they're angry, guys. I mean, listen, Europe is old, right? Listen, there are families and farms that probably go back about 1,000 years or more, bro. Okay, let's just be honest here. Family farms that are lineage-based, and they've been running things with a very tiny, minuscule population of people compared to other places, at least, right? Just understand this here. That's what they're doing. And now with the influx of people, the influx of cheaper things, while things are getting more expensive, and people are not really making a good amount of money in Europe, guys, truth be told, they're not. I think for Europe, it's not bad, but it's generally not enough money to kind of do more than what you're doing that month, if that makes any sense here. So I can imagine in Spain where like the average person that's doing well probably is making somewhere close to 1,700 a month, right? You understand what I'm saying here, guys? Then you have your rent, and then you have electricity, then you have all the wild, ridiculous taxes that are out there. Now, how are you supposed to feed yourself, bro? If all you have now is like farmer market, organic produce that is more expensive than it should be, if that makes any sense. Now you're running into an issue where people can no longer really afford to eat large scale. So if we can lower the food costs, that's what I think the overall argument is, okay? If we can lower the food costs, yes, the quality is going to go down tremendously from what they're used to consuming. And obviously, that's not something that they want here. Most people do not want that. But if you can no longer really truthfully afford to large scale feed your family, in some places in Europe, not specifically Belgium, or Germany, or Austria, these type of places, right? They're fine. Okay. But there are definitely some places in the south of Spain specifically, like Plastic City, if you Google that, right? Where there are definitely going to be people who cannot afford to eat, right? They're Europeans. They cannot afford to eat, but they live basically in cardboard. If that makes any sense, right? Just understand what I'm trying to point out here. Some places in Sicily also, just there are people who cannot afford to eat. And if you lower the price of food, then that's what's basically happening here, bro. So that's kind of what I think the overall beef is, right?
Guys, do you want to watch movies with me? I never actually thought to like promote it over here, guys. But if you guys do want to watch it, guys, we have hundreds of movies, and I mean hundreds of movies that we've reacted to. You guys can come watch them with me if you want to, along with many TV shows. Currently, we're working on the show Dexter, along with Vikings, and we have a lot of series that are already completed. But if you guys do want to watch it with me, the link is in the description. Everything's available at the second tier. But of course, if that's not your thing, guys, don't worry. Right? Listen, like and subscribe.